If the filter sits vertically and it's easy to pre-fill and screw in without spilling, then why not do it? The bottom line is this: if it's easy to do and you're not gonna make a mess, by all means do it. Why not? Does it help? Probably. Is it bad to not do it? I mean, how could you ever know that? Hey guys, Jimmy here with One Road. So you've been introduced to my new vehicle, my 2005 GMC Envoy. This thing is so awesome, I cannot believe that I found it. Thank you, Lord, for bringing this car to me and my family. Guys, I cannot believe it. This thing has 25,000 miles. I'll go ahead and link the introduction video up here if you haven't seen it yet. But today, the task is going to be to change the oil on this thing. This thing has an oil sticker up there in the corner that says it was from December of 2016. If you know me and my channel, I cannot let this vehicle go any longer without having a fresh oil change. So for that, I went to Costco and picked up some Mobil 1 fully synthetic 5W30. I also picked up a PF61 AC Delco professional oil filter. Go ahead and throw on some Harbor Freight 5mm nitrile gloves. And I'll grab my oil catch pan, which hasn't been used in a while. Climbing underneath this thing, trying to figure out a good spot to jack it up. You can kind of hear the frame is a little bit thin and hollow sounding there, but back here it sounds nice and thick. So I think that's going to be the perfect spot. We got her jacked up with 2 jack stands just in case. I always like to be extra safe. Okay, so just under the front of the vehicle we have this access panel. You just need a simple flathead to take this thing off. And 2, and you can see this is our oil drain plug. There you can see, peeking just a little bit deeper inside that access panel, we have the oil filter. Now the good thing about this filter is it sits vertically and therefore allows to be pre-filled before we screw the new one on. I have my oil catch pan here lined up and open with the drain port you can see is open. I just wanted to point something out here, and this is kind of a lesson to myself too, but you know, when I took this access panel off, I reached up and grabbed it with the ratchet, but it is so loose, this drain plug. I mean, I can turn it with my fingers, and while it's still holding the oil in and it's not leaking, I mean, just imagine if that did come loose enough to where all the oil did leak out either while I was driving or on a long road trip or whatever the case may be. And if you didn't notice it and you're driving your car around with extremely low oil or none, that could be completely devastating to the motor. So never assume when you buy a vehicle that just because the oil has been changed that it's been changed right. You always want to get under there and do it yourself. Make sure things are the way you would expect them to be. And this is definitely something that I'm very glad I'm getting under here to do this, and I haven't driven this vehicle much since I bought it. So let's go ahead and remove this drain plug, keeping positive pressure on the plug as I unscrew it until you feel it kind of skipping over on itself. That's when you pull it away. And I think we're just about there. Yep, okay. While that oil is draining, we're going to prep the new oil filter. So you can see here we have the AC Delco Professional PF61. This is not the E version. I think the E version probably works just as well, but a lot of people, a lot of reviews online say that they're made a little bit to a lower quality. So I try to stick with the actual PF61 and not the PF61E. And looking down inside, oops, I just spilled some. We're going to pre-fill this puppy. If you guys are subscribers to my channel, then you'll know I have 2 other vehicles, a 1995 GMC Suburban and also a 2003 Chevrolet Suburban. I've shown my oil changes on those vehicles in the past, and a lot of people gave me a bunch of crap about my 1995 because I didn't pre-fill the oil filter. My take on that is this: if the filter sits vertically and it's easy to pre-fill and screw in without spilling, then why not do it? But the filter on my 95 sits completely horizontally. So that means if I would have pre-filled that filter and started screwing that sucker on, it would all just pour out. I'm not about to make a gigantic mess, and I know that GM designed it that way for a reason. I don't think they designed it that way expecting everyone to be able to pre-fill the oil filter, so therefore, the bottom line is this. If it's easy to do, and you're not gonna make a mess, by all means, do it. Why not? Does it help? Probably. Is it bad to not do it? I mean, how could you ever know that? Okay, so at this point, we do have the old oil filter out and drained, and it's just basically dripping. So what I want to do is put in the new oil filter. We have everything buttoned up. The drain plug is back on. And you can see the new filter is installed, and man, just reminded me why I do not like to pre-fill these guys, because there was oil everywhere and it was really slippery and I could not get that thing screwed on. But in the end, it all worked out. Okay, so now that the entire underside is buttoned up and the car is down off of the jack, I'm gonna go ahead and start filling this thing up with oil. For those of you who don't know, this vehicle has a 4.2 liter inline 6-cylinder motor, and these motors are supposedly bulletproof. They run forever. My wife's mom has the same vehicle. Hers, I think, has 185,000 miles on it, and the thing runs like brand new. So I'm gonna have to say that that's probably chalked up to always changing the oil on time. The crazy thing is about these motors is they take 7 quarts of oil. 7. My 1995 350 V8 only takes 5 quarts, and my 2003 5.3 liter V8 takes 6 quarts. Okay, so the fluids are all in. All 7 quarts are in there, and I'm gonna go ahead and start this thing up so it can start to circulate. All right, motor is running, purring like a kitten. We do have oil pressure and everything looks good there. Interestingly enough, I was talking about that PF61E, and that's actually what I pulled out of this vehicle. So I'm assuming it was done by the dealership with that sticker up there being an AC Delco sticker. You can see when you look at it, it looks a little bit different. You don't see that black or red, rubber or silicone anti-drain back valve. Just a whole bunch of holes, and you can see more metal behind it. But like I was saying, I am sure these things work just as good as the old ones. Well, that'll do it for this oil change on my 2005 GMC Envoy. It's going to be a great vehicle for our family. It only has 25,000 miles on it, like I was saying. It is definitely a blessing. Thank you, Lord. So, with some good oil in it, my hope is that this thing runs to 200,000 miles and we have it for 10 plus years. Anyways, guys, I'm Jimmy, again with One Road, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.